I've come up to IoM Post and Stamps, and we're talking with Hector Duff. So many things we bump into you all the time these days, Hector. But I know you're very, very proud and privileged to be associated with the stamps here that to come actually out already, aren't they, about D-Day?
Yes, I am very, very proud and glad that the Philatelica have taken themselves to do this, because otherwise we're going to be forgotten, and it seems to be the trend. They're the only ones that have put anything into this celebration of 70th anniversary, which after all was the greatest armada that the world had ever seen, that put together to invade the mainland or the Europe and to get rid of the Germans that have dominated France and Belgium and Holland for the last 4 years.
Because if anyone doesn't know your story, you were there on D-Day.
I landed on D-Day in the afternoon of D-Day, after about 4 or 5 hours after the infantry had gone in and done a wonderful job, and made a bit of room for us to get in.
So celebrations, commemorations, that sort of thing has got bigger over the years, hasn't it? But I believe this is going to be the big one.
This is the 70th, the last, so they are going to make a very, very big celebration after the royalty. Going to be 2 royals there, and quite a bit of a pomp and ceremony and that sort of thing, which I think these men will be looking down at it, the men that didn't come back from, and they'll be saying, well, at last we are being recognised.
If people don't know, also you go around schools still telling your stories, and you're bringing whole new generations up to speed with the world as it was then, and it was a harsh place.
Yes, I've been going around since the year 2000, and I enjoy going around, and I think it's right. They do this in Germany, not only here in the Isle of Man, but as I say, I've been doing it since the year 2000, and I'm so pleased to go because I'm so well received by all children and the teachers, and the schools that I go to. The teachers are so enthusiastic, and it's spread from them into the children. And a school that's not so enthusiastic, they don't seem to bother.
But when I've seen you, they're certainly interested in what you've got to say.
Well, yes, I enjoy telling them, and I don't tell them the same thing every time, because I do it out of my head, and it's not word perfect, but it's basically all the same, where I was and where we landed and what we did and how we did it and that sort of thing. And
well, back to these stamps, and there they are. They're available now. You get special sets and all sorts of things. For the 6th of June, of course, is the big day itself.
It is a day, yes, that is the day when we landed, and we'll never ever forget those that landed on D-Day, or even 2 or 3 days later. We'll never ever forget the scenes. I can remember going ashore, and about 4 to 5 miles before we reached the beaches, we seen all the literally thousands. I was told there were 5,000 boats of all shapes and sizes, ships that had been designed by very, very clever men to fire all sorts of things and to do different things rather than just convey us there. They conveyed us there, but they also supported us by. There was one particular flotilla of boats that had 100 rockets on one side of it. You can imagine, and they fired all instantly, 100 at a time. They covered a massive square when it landed, and we used to feel a little sorry for those that were on the receiving end of it. But then when he'd fired the 100, he'd turn himself round, and he'd 100 on the other side, and he'd fire again. They're terrific. There were ships of all descriptions made for us. For the land, the troops, they carried the troops disembarked off the ship down nets and that sort of thing into smaller boats, LSIs, they're called landing craft infantry or whatever, and they brought them ashore, and it was organised perfectly. The beaches couldn't have been organised better. If there was somebody stopped for some reason or other, he was bulldozed out of the way, and the beaches were well organised by a beach officer. I forget what his name was. What he had a title, but he wasn't a high-ranking man. Some of them were only sergeants, but they knew what to do, and we were all coded. We had code marks on us, so he knew where we were. If the vehicles, the tanks that were coming ashore, he knew whether they should have been there or shouldn't have been.
And just remind everyone how old you'll be this year.
Well, on my birthday, if I survive till then, I'll be 95.
Wow.
So someday, I always say somebody's looking after me.